Hey, hello out there. I'm Kris. I'm a gearhead and I live in Las Vegas. Today, in order to talk about my studio, I wanted to go into one of my favorite Keytars of the 1980s. It is the Korg Poly 800 and it's sitting behind me right there. My big love, my big passion is antique gear. I really love everything from the 1980s because I was there. I was a little kid and I was there. Keytars were a thing in the 1980s. Synthesizers that you could wear on a stage and run around was a thing, and I very much fell in love with that. So, a lot of my classic gear are synthesizers that could be worn on your body, and this one is one of them. The Korg Poly 800 came out in 1985. It's an analog synthesizer with a sequencer. It's got a couple of features on it that are pretty awesome. It's not too hard to program whatsoever. All of the programs are right there in front of you on top of the keyboard. Let's go check it out. So this is the Korg Poly 800. It's got several features other than it being there's several digital oscillators on there. It has your digital envelope generators 1 and 2. You have oscillators 1 and 2. You have VCF. You have MIDI. Basically, everything that you could think of to edit is up top. All of the cool features are up top, right in front of you to see. One of the odd features about all the programs, all the sounds, all the patches on this guy is there are no zeros and there are no nines. So instead of 88 patches on here, I believe it's 64 without the zeros and the nines. And I really like all the classic sounds on this guy. It does have a poly mode, a chord memory mode, and a hold mode. It does have a cool sequencer already in there, and you could control the speed of the sequencer as well as you can control your pitch bend on the side here. And the volume and the power are on the same thing. And of course you could change the pitch up there. And of course you can do some cool detune with perimeter number 32. Now the numbers are really cool. I always thought it was very odd with this keyboard that there are no zeros and no nines. But in order to program this guy, all you have to do is hit the program number and then the program key, and that will highlight a number, whatever number you want to program. So let's say I wanted to take down the octaves. We're on program 11. We could bring it down a couple of octaves. Let's use this value button. And nice warm tones. Now put the value button up. It's a little bit higher, 2 octaves higher. Let's see. Now, what I really love about the Korg Poly 800 is it is a classic 80s Keytar. It's a really good synthesizer, honestly. And it's got these funny little strap buttons on the side. So honestly, in and of itself, it's a powerful synthesizer, but with the strap buttons, you could wear it on stage and play it. The sequencer is pretty cool. It's a 64-step sequencer. It's really easy to program. Everything on here is really easy to program, and the sounds are classic and kind of cheesy, but totally 80s. I would recommend the patches on this for bass lines. I'd recommend them for like cool, warm, well-rounded pads. There's lots of nice strings and horns on there that are just so warm and fuzzy. And I'd also recommend it for special effects because there's some FX sounds on here that are awesome. 1 or 2 of them I remember from 80s cartoons, and a couple of other ones are like helicopters and swooshes and zips and stuff like that, which are kind of really unique for the 1980s. So we are going to run through the patches as well as show you how to do a sequence. Now the controls for the sequencer are really simple. Basically you have a step control and you have a start stop, and when you hit a switch in the back, you turn on your sequencer in order to start recording. Now I could do a couple of sequences for you just so you know how this baby works. But this is a sequence I recorded earlier before. Let's see, let's find a nice bass sound. So, pretty basic bass line. Let me show how it's done. I'm just doing a C, E flat, I think of F, and then I'm walking down this G, F sharp, do F, and then I think the E flat. Let's see. Let's hear it again. Let me show you how I program it. So, there's a back switch that says sequencer. You're seeing it upside down, but when you hit that little switch, you enable your sequencer and you can write your sequence. It's gonna give you 64 steps. You have a step button right there. When you hit the step button, that will add a rest into your sequence. When you hold everything down, it will play everything that you play in a sequence, and you can control the speed of your sequence that you want it to be. So, let's see. I'm going to do simple sequences. I'm going to do that same pattern, but I'm going to do it in, I'm going to make it long and held out. So I'm going to play C minor and hold down the step button. Okay, and let's do it again. We're gonna play the C minor and hold down the step button to a whole note. Now we're gonna do a B flat and hold down the step button to another whole note. I'm gonna do an A flat, hold it down to a whole note. And let's do another G, hold it down for a whole note. Okay, and all you have to do is flip that same switch. Let's see, it's probably that switch. All right, and then hit play. Let's do another sequence, all right? We're gonna do that same one I programmed before. All right. And now it's got some awesome features here. You have a hold mode, you have a chord memory mode, and you have a poly mode. What do those do? The hold mode, when you hit the hold button, whatever you play will just continue to play until you play something else. So let me play a D minor. It's gonna continue to play forever until I hit another chord. Okay, again, same deal. Hold button will hold whatever chord you're playing. Poly mode, of course, is your normal play mode. I think you get up to 4 voices together, I'm not sure, maybe 5. It sounds like 4. And the chord memory, of course, you could program whatever chord you want to record on there. I happen to be in love with the minor 7s, so the chords that I always program in any chord memory I have, whether it be in chord memory in this guy, or if it's a chord memory in the Roland Axis, it's always a minor 7th. So chord memory. Let's play a D. All you have to do is hit one key. It will play a minor seventh in whatever key that is. So this is a D, so this is a D minor 7. This is a C, but it's just playing an entire C minor 7. And if you hit poly, it goes right back to poly mode. Now, again, everything that you could program is on the surface of this guy. It's super easy. You have digital controlled oscillator 1. You have your oscillator number 2. You've got a noise level. You've got your VCF. You've got chorus. I love chorus because it adds so much to each and every patch. You've got your envelope generators for each oscillator. You have an envelope generator for VCF. And you've got MIDI guides, and you've got other cool delays that you can do on the end. It's awesome. Again, I would totally recommend this Keytar, this synthesizer, this shoulder synthesizer for bass lines, for pads, and for sound effects. And I'm going to show you why. I'm going to fly through as many sounds as I can just so you could see the wide variety of sounds that are in this guy. First, you have a lot of heavy, beautiful, warm strings. Awesome trumpet, warm, trumpety bass lines. Okay, and of course, awesome sound effects. It's one of my favorites. Now, one of my very favorite sound effects on this guy is from a cartoon from the 1980s. It was called Spartacus, and this is the sound of their spaceship that would fly through the earth. Now, just in case any of you have ever heard of this cartoon, that is it. Spartacus and the Sun Beneath the Sea. Now, every time their magic ship would fly from strata to strata, it would make this synthesizer sound. So again, lots of bass sounds, lots of warm pad sounds, and lots of sound effect sounds are in this guy. The organization of the pads are kind of willy-nilly. Usually when I'm playing a synthesizer, like all the 11s will be a different sound. All the 20s will be a different sound. All the 30s will be a different sound. As far as the patch list, will be a different set of sounds. Like, let's say all the 100s are pads, all the 200s are bass lines, all the 300s are piano sounds, all the 400s are organs, like all of the 500s are synth sounds. Like, usually on a keyboard, all of their sounds are organized in that sort of way. Not so much with this one. For some reason, all the ones, like let's say in your series of 20s and 11s and 20s and 30s and 40s, it's like all the 11s and the 21s and the 31s and the 41s, those are all your strings. All of your sound effects are all the 8s, your 38, 48, 58, they are all the sound effects. It's so weird. Let me give you an example. So, this is number 88 from my one of my favorite cartoons from the 80s. The sound effect for the spaceship Terry. Now, you would think that all the sound effects would be in all the 80s, but it's not. Code of 48 and another sound effect. Let's go to 38, yet another sound effect. I always found that very strange, that all of the sounds aren't like organized together like they usually are in other keyboards. I really love this sequencer. I really love what it can do. It's got a lot of different things you can do with it. Again, I'm going to do that sequence one more time at the end of this, but I'm going to bring you through all the sounds and all the pads and all the weird effects that this thing can do. Let's see. Sounds like warm pipes. A cool wah-wah pad. Sounds like a warm trumpet or like warm strings. Let's see. Classic organ. To me, it sounds like a thick trumpet or a deep bass or an in-between. Let's see. Ooh, let's listen to that sequence in this. It sounds like a thick bass. Another warm string. Ooh, that's most definitely a square wave. Sounds like it's trying to be an electric string. Ooh, awesome sound effect with the delay. Nice. Nice. Another wah-wah bass sound. No, not you. You. Nope. Come on. Haha. Sounds so distant, doesn't it? Now, since I don't have the instruction book for this, since I don't have the manual, sometimes I read it online on, I think it's Manual Libs. But I like the mystery of not knowing what the names of the patches are. I like not knowing what they are. I'm in love with all of them. Let's see. Ooh, it's like that wah-wah sound, but with the Celesta on top. Let's see. Wait for Halloween. All right. Ooh, what pretty bells. That's definitely a distorted trumpet. Ooh, what beautiful warm strings that is. Listen to that string sound. Ooh, that's different. Nice. Ooh. What an odd delay. Out of tune organ? Wow. Ooh. That sounds like a fuzzy third or fifth. Definitely a sort of Celesta sound. Ooh. Very mystical, new agey. ambulance, you think? And right back to the very top again, my favorite sound. And of course I have to end the video by actually strapping this guy on and showing you what it looks like when you're actually holding it and playing it. And let's see if I can't throw on a drum beat and take this out. Come on. Oh, well, let's just end this with our controlled sequence.